God has his people, Satan has his as well, not to try to put them on even playing fields. They're not on even playing field level to get it. But he rises up people with the power that God has given him. And I believe, to be honest with you, in the fellowship, I believe wholeheartedly Oprah Winfrey is one of them. Because she does so much distorting of Christianity day in and day out. And it's kind of leading this whole band, I don't want to go off on Oprah, but leads and her and a whole lot of other people who claim, a lot of people, they believe, well, they're Christians, they say they're Christians, but again, what is the great divide? What is the thing that's going to make me say, is this person a Christian? I don't know if that's off. There's only one thing that clears that up, and that is what Scripture says. Another one is Carlton Christian. Anybody heard about Carlton Christian? He was on MSN right before I came here, talking about he's fine. You know, he found this church. He's over there with the lesbian pastor. Think about that. That's just like crazy on so many different levels. But she's on there. Glad to have him. He was down and out. She picked him in. And what's the theme of the church? Everybody going to heaven, no matter what you do. And he's on there, well, you know, the room, and it sounds good, because he says the room is full of, it has gay people there, we have some of the homeless, we have business people, we have all these people all in the same room, and we're all worshiping God. See, that sounds good. That sounds good. And they quote scriptures and everything. Got the robes on, everything on TV. Matter of fact, she had a rainbow robe on. Add that up. That's the world. That's the world we're in now. And the world don't know. The world don't know the difference between true believers and they say they Christians. Y'all say y'all Christians too. But this thing. But that was a little side note. But again, let's go back to just the things that handle this, because the Bible talks about worldly wisdom, man. 1 Corinthians 1:20. Verse 20. And if anybody wants these notes, I can email y'all all this notes and stuff. Let me know.
Can you put it on the site?
Yeah, I can put it on the site as is. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Great idea. It will be up there tonight as a blog.
Limit your email.
All right. Somebody read that when they get that. 1 Corinthians.
Where is the wise man? Where is the scribe? Where is the debater of this age? Has not God made foolish the wisdom of this world? Keep going.
No, that's cool right there. God, in that scripture, it's like, where are these people? Who has the wisdom that's greater than God? I'm going to tell you what's so funny, though. And Christians, if you're not careful, you can start listening to Oprah, you can start listening to somebody else that'll get your attention. That sounds good and looks like they're producing results. And you might try some of the stuff, and you might start producing some of the results too. And you say, this gotta be a God. This gotta be a God because it works, or it's doing this, or people are happy, or people are this, or people are that. And that is not the right litmus test. The test is not seeing, people smiling. The test is, what are they believing? What are they following? Are they following this? Because this was here before I got here. And people of God have walked it out here, laid out the foundation, and you can still walk it out here. But what we're in still walk it out with the help of those people as well. But we're in an age where there is a lot of stuff that sounds Christian, that looks Christian, and it's not.
No, I was just in agreement. We talk all the time, but just in agreement with what you're saying, just the times we're living in. More so, I'm not even looking for the world. This is stuff really is just prevalent among those who profess Christ, which is Peter, Paul, they're very clear on what to look out for on specific scripture in mind. So it talks about who Satan is, and it talks about his own ignorant of his devices. So we don't be surprised that he appears. You just can't pass over this scripture. It says he appears as an angel of light. You need to really go into a study of what in the world is an angel of light, so you can see what God is trying to communicate to you when he talks about how Satan appears as an angel of light, or can appear. He says, so don't be surprised if his ministers, which let you know he has ministers, appear as ministers of righteousness. Who are the ministers of righteousness? You gotta ask these questions. Who are those? Are those the Islamic class? No, those are the ones, those are the ones that you would call Christians. They're not Christian, but they're the ones that were professed. So don't be surprised how he moves and his boys move, so to speak. Where do they exist? They exist in the churches. It's very clear about that. He says, just as prophets, false prophets rose up from amongst the nation of Israel, meaning right out of their own stock and tribes and everything came right out of them. He says, there will be false teachers. And he said, it's not that if they might come, they're going to be there. And the reason why do we say all this stuff anyway? Because when it's all said and done, your soul is at stake, my soul is at stake, and the souls of lost individuals. And really, like I was telling him, I said, it's a matter of loyalty. I said, there are going to be some things that happen in our Christian walk, we see in holy hip hop, which will test you to see where your loyalty lies. Is it to the denomination? Is it to your friend because they're a believer? Is it to, and I'm not saying don't be unloving and grace, you gotta have balance, truth and grace, as Christ is full of grace and truth. But you have to know that this is coming, and it's only gonna get worse. This is not gonna be an easy road. There's some serious tests. This is nothing prophetic. This is strictly scriptural. God says it's coming. It's like, then you'll start seeing, it's like, okay, I'm willing to lose it all. Because at this moment, this person is off. Either I'm going to shuck and hide my tail, or I'm going to stand and take the heat, which is why we're going over some of these foundations in the Nameless Fellowship, so we know, really, so we're all on the same, quote-unquote, page, so to speak. So when we're out there, I'm not concerned about what he's going to say. I'm not concerned about what he's going to say. It's like, I'm going to send him. Because I know we'll be not only living it, but communicating the same.
So knock this last little point out, because we about to jump into that right now. This is it. This is the last thing. Going back to the beginning. Let's answer the question earlier. This is the last thing. If I live with my girlfriend and we have sex without getting married, and we have a child and we decide to continue to live with each other to the point that the state considers us married, but are they married in God's sight? Anybody?
No.
No. A couple scriptures if you want to look up. Hebrews 13:4. Marriage is to be held in honor among all, and the marriage bed is to be undefiled for fornicators and adulterers. God will judge. Hebrews 13:4. You can look up another one. Ephesians 5:3-6. Just to say that no, God's not cool with it, but it's giving an example where people will say, well, you've been together this long, the state say we married, and you got to understand that every believer, you've been called to a higher standard. Your standard is not California state law. Your standard is not the standard that they may have on your job, or they may have at your school. It's not the standard. This is our standard. We're held to this standard, especially those who say they are ministering the gospel and are reaching people, whether you're held to a standard. And that's all I have to say. So go ahead. Anybody can chime in at this point.
Yeah, let me just say this real quick. At this point in time, it's open discussion. You just gave us that's the spark, and we're just free to discuss what he talked about and everything. We do it in order, so if you could just take about 2 minutes, and it'll come back around to you. You know what I'm saying? Because we do believe that everyone's here. They know God has revealed certain things to them, so just be very respectful. 10-minute doctoral thesis. You know what I'm saying? Just give everyone a chance to share. Come on.